Here in this room, the sacred space is created to allow the opening of the heart. Everyone is welcome, no matter where they are on their spiritual journey. Today, we celebrate our oneness in thought, in word, and in action. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's hear a little bit more. Good morning. Yes, it is a very good morning. I am still Tatiana, and I am your spiritual guide, and I'm honored to be so. I am a practitioner here at the center. And today our reading and our talk is about It Is Done Unto Us. And it is taken from the Science of Mind textbook by our founder, Ernest Holmes. It's found on page 140. And it's in the chapter, The Power of Thought. So Ernest Holmes talks about how we don't create and we don't have to coerce spirit. But there is a power for good in the universe that is greater than you are, and that you can use it. When I first heard that quote from Ernest Holmes, when I got on the path and started studying Science of Mind, it really resonated with me because 2 years prior, my dear husband had taken me to a spiritual retreat in Hawaii. And when I got there, I had been dealing with a very serious knee problem. I couldn't bend my right knee after surgery, and it had been extraordinarily painful for 9 months. And I was a little sad because they were planning some hikes down to a secluded beach, which I knew I couldn't do because I couldn't bend my knee without excruciating pain. And the facilitator, his name was Rojan, and he was a disciple of the amazing spiritual guru Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh. And the very first thing that he had suggested that we do, we sat in a circle, there were about 35 of us, and he suggested that we choose something that we wanted to heal or fix or transform or change. And it only had to be 50% believable. Well, I had been to many doctors and they were all perplexed, and I thought, well, you know, this is the one thing that I really want to heal. I want to heal my knee. I'm tired of this pain and I'm tired of this issue, which was an opportunity, of course. And so he guided us in a very simple meditation that focused on the healing, how I wanted to see myself. And I was a tennis player, a dancer, and so I saw myself like that. And 3 times a day we would do this 3 to 5 minute meditation. I added 2 more times for good measure. And so I was doing this 5 times a day. And 10 days later, my knee was completely healed, and I took this very rigorous hike down to a beach, climbing down rocks on rope ladders, and I mean, it was really strenuous. I was a lot younger then. So when I heard that quote 2 years later, I recognized, I didn't realize what was happening at the time, but I recognized that I was using that power for good, and that God was working through me. And we use the power of the one mind, which works through us, and we create amazing demonstrations, as I just shared with you. This power is working through us through the one mind. and our thoughts impress the one mind. And so as I was on my spiritual journey, I recognized that I needed to cultivate dominion over my attention. I noticed often I would be beating myself up for something or making myself wrong and having some judgments, and I recognized that that's pretty negative self-talk. And I also realized that it was a habit. You know, we all create habits. One of my amazing habits was that I used to salt my food before I tasted it because my dad did. And I thought, well, he does it, it must be the right thing to do. And one day, my awareness grew, and I recognized that it doesn't make sense to salt food before I taste it. And so I changed that habit. I'm very happy to say I hardly ever use salt. So it's about expanding in our awareness, being in the moment, aligning with spirit, and allowing this power in the one mind, using our thoughts to create magnificent healings and shifts in our awareness and aligning with the one God, because with God, all things are possible. And I know this to be the truth. So we are all children of the Most High God. We all can use this power for our good. And so I invite you all to turn inward and just take the breath of God deeply and just let go and let God. And every breath, breathing in spirit with gratitude, because we don't have to think about the breath breathes us. And we can call forth that observer, that witness consciousness that notices what we're thinking, notices without judgment. And if you notice anything like worry or doubt or fear, no need to make yourself wrong. Just let it go and know that you are brilliant and magnificent just as you are. And allowing yourself to move into the stillness, into the silence where we open our hearts and we allow God to work through us, to heal us. And as our hearts are open, we are filled with gratitude and thanksgiving for this amazing gift of life. And resting in the consciousness of the all-good, that divine intelligence that moves in, through, and as every nook and cranny of life. I recognize that there is not a single spot that God is not. That God is closer than our hands and feet. God is behind all things seen and unseen. God is the Alpha, God is the Omega, God is everything in between. So we are all one, in unity with the glorious, great, and gracious Spirit of the Most High. And it is in this oneness that I speak a word of prayer for this glorious day that the Lord has